Trev, while we've got you, do you have any thoughts on the rule changes that have just come out?
Yeah, look, call me old-fashioned, but I'm not a great fan of all these changes. And I might be one out even with some of our guys, but certainly I'm not a great fan. I think, and again, I might be biased, I think we saw a pretty good grand final this year, and I am biased, we won. But, I mean, in the end, we had a pretty good game of footy that showcased everything which is great about the game. It just didn't have attack, it had defence, it had competitiveness, it had the thrills and spills and the stuff that we love about our game. So I'm not sure we needed to temper with it as much as we have, but again, that's why we have an AFL commission in place. They make the rules and then we have to adapt to them, and that's what they're put there for.
Is there any one of them that you particularly like in isolation or particularly don't like in isolation?
Oh, I'm not sure about the mandate on starting positions. I think there's some understanding that might free up the scoring and those sort of things, and it may do that. But the game's just not all about scoring. The game's about competitiveness and defensive work, and I just think the game's evolved over so many years with different things that we haven't liked, and coaches adapt, and no one liked flooding. But coaches have been able to get around that. They've been able to adapt, and I think that's what makes a good coach. They adapt as the other coaches go into combat with them. So, yeah, I might again, I'll repeat, I might be a bit old-fashioned, but I like the rules the way they are, and I'm surprised there's so many changes.
That's interesting, because if you look at the rules and the purpose of the rules, a team like West Coast would probably adapt reasonably well to most of those changes. Would you agree with that? Like, you're taking a whole of game view rather than a what suits the club view?
Yeah, look, we do some of the stuff that they're implementing or saying you have to do now. So we do parts of those things now, Mark, so you're right. I'm just looking at the game in total rather than just West Coast. If I just looked at us, I could probably cherry pick the things that we like and cherry pick the things we don't like. But in the end, that'll be up to Simo. I mean, he'll be onto that already, so he'll be straight to work.